So I have a model of the small intestine here. We're looking specifically at the ileum. And so starting here, you've got the mucosa, you've got the submucosa complete with our Peyer's patches. We have a rich blood supply here. You have lymphatic vessels and glands traveling elsewhere in the small intestine. So again, mucosa, submucosa. This is the muscularis externa. These two layers here, so this is the circular layer, this is the longitudinal layer, and then the most superficial of these is going to be the serosa down here, which is what you're seeing, connective tissue. And remember, that's going to wrap around the ileum as well as the rest of the small intestine to form the mesentery, or that double layer serosa. Coming into some more specifics up here, I'm going to zoom in on one of these villi, and what you're seeing, this is called the Lacteal. These are the the really specialized lymphatic vessels that dive up into these villi, and this is where chylomicrons, so digested triglycerides, are going to be absorbed. Because they're nonpolar in nature, it would be difficult for them to enter the capillaries, where you predominantly have water. In addition, you'll find that the lymphatic vessels are going to be more permeable than the capillaries. So those large chylomicrons, rather than being absorbed from the lumen of our GI tract into our body through the capillaries, again, those chylomicrons are instead going to be absorbed into these lacteals, taken up into the lymphatic system from there. In addition, these blue dots are showing goblet cells. So we know that the intestine is able to secrete mucus, and that's where that will come from. So these are all the villi. Coming back to our submucosal layer, I wanted to address these Peyer's patches a little bit more. They are an important component of our immune system. We see that they actually work to monitor intestinal bacterial levels. And I think that makes good sense if you consider that the ileum is the last component of the small intestine before we get to the cecum and the appendix, right? Actually. So this is the ileum, and this is the cecum and the appendix. One of the reasons that appendicitis, or specifically a rupture of the appendix, can be so potentially fatal is because that bacteria that ruptures from the appendix can ultimately lead to sepsis. And so if you think about the ileum being just upstream, if you will, from the cecum and the appendix, I think it makes sense that you would need these specialized features, these Peyer's patches, in order to be able to control the bacterial population.